Hello, I'm Soleil. I'm an angel investor and venture capital investor based in Sydney. Today, I'm going to be sharing a framework of how to craft a 30-second introduction pitch for investors. This was part of a presentation that I gave a couple of months ago to the Western Sydney Innovation Festival. So, just a reminder that you are always pitching and selling as a founder. This is not just exclusive to investors. So, whether it's your customers, your employees, your suppliers and partners, the community, government and regulators, or any other stakeholder. So let's begin. Whilst this will be targeted towards pitching to an investor, you can, of course, make some tweaks and make it applicable to any other stakeholder. Starting with the objective of crafting the pitch, in my view, every touch point you have is so that you can get another meeting or you can continue the conversation with this particular investor. But there may be some constraints that occur in order for you to achieve this objective. Some of this may include that you only have a small amount of time to share who you are and what you're building. There's often a reason why this is called an elevator pitch. If you were in an elevator with this person, could you share succinctly who you are, what you're building, and create enough interest that the person is thinking about it after they exit the elevator? So here's a suggested framework. The first thing is to introduce who you are. You'd be really surprised at the number of founders who even forget to tell me their name. Then you can go into your 30-second pitch, and this presentation is going to focus on that part. And remember, you should always have an ask and be specific with where you want some help. Then you can end the conversation with asking what's the best way to continue the conversation with this person. So, with some practice and iteration, you can work on this being really organic and to just roll off the tongue rather than being rehearsed and stilted. So, we are going to focus on a framework for the 30-second pitch within this framework. So, we're going to break up the pitch into 5 parts: the hook, the problem, why you, what you are building, and your ask. So, let's start with the hook. What's a shocking fact or interesting fact or a question that can capture the attention of the other person? Next, the problem. What are you solving? Who are you solving it for? Are they paying or are they going to be a beneficiary? How big or significant is this problem? And perhaps you can include it as part of your hook. Why are you the team to solve it? What is your credibility and domain expertise? And what are you building? How are you solving it? And what are you doing that is really unique? And of course, your ask. What is your specific ask? Where and where you need, when and where you need help on. And remember, you need to be as specific as possible on this. So here are the 5 components of the pitch: the hook, the problem, why you, what, ask. Now that we've broken it up, we are going to go through a magical example of a 30-second pitch of how you can put this framework together. So, did you know every year countless wishes whispered into ancient wishing wells simply vanish? That's your hook. These lost hopes and dreams cause growing despair, and we ensure no heartfelt desire fades, benefiting dreamers and strengthening our magical world. This is the problem. Our lineage traces back to the original guardians of the wellspring of wishes, granting us arcane knowledge of wish energies. This is the why you are the best team. Using enchanted looms of moonlight and phoenix tears, we capture and amplify stray wishes. This is what we're doing and a high level synopsis of how we're doing it. We seek an audience with wish catchers to refine our techniques and reach more lost wishes. Can you guide us to them? This is the ask. It's specific, and in this example, you're essentially asking if there's anyone in their network who could connect us. So that's a magical, fantastical example of a 30-second pitch. I did use AI to help me create this example, and I've included a prompt in the description below that you could use to help you get started. As you practice it more with people and you receive feedback, you'll of course tailor it and tinker it, and the words will flow a lot easier as well. I thought I would include some additional tips to keep in mind when you're pitching in general. This isn't specifically for the 30-second pitch, but maybe you can use it as part of that as well. So it's important to remember that everyone loves a story. It's more engaging and it's more memorable. One of the things to note is that some investors may interact with 500 to 2,000 founders a year. So, to cut through the noise, telling a story can really help to make sure that you are memorable. If you have a physical product or even a virtual product, but you can show or share this, it can be really, really powerful. Sometimes when someone has something in their hands or they're watching a demo of how your software works, it can really help to bring your story to life, but also it can provide some significant context as to what you're building. It's important to look up beforehand who you are meeting. Maybe you need to also have a look at what's the firm that they're looking at, what industries or sectors do they typically invest in, and come prepared, because it should then give you a bit of insight as to how you may need to frame the conversation. Perhaps you have a highly technical product and you're meeting with more of a generalist investor who may not have the same experience or expertise as you. So you likely need to cut down on the industry specific acronyms or jargon, or more importantly, remember to explain them. Following up. It's so important after a pitch or when you meet someone, especially if they've offered something related to your asks. So remember to be proactive and engaged. So these are just a few tips to go alongside when you're pitching and chatting to investors. And just a final reminder that you are always pitching and selling. It's not just to investors. There's a whole gamut of stakeholders to think about when you're pitching and selling. So there we go, a framework of how to craft a 30-second introduction pitch. I've put some prompts in the description below if you want to use AI on an initial draft for you and your business. But also let me know in the comments if there are other topics you'd like an explanation on.